I thought
You
the
did?
ShamWow guy was dead. Billy Mays.
Billy Mays is dead. He didn't sell ShamWow.
Billy Mays sold everything else. Yeah.
The guy that was the ShamWow guy looked like a shark. He had like super weak, like thin jaw. He looked weird. He looked scary.
We're calling you out. We want to fight Vic Lodato versus Mr. ShamWow.
This is
TBD.
out of context. Hello and welcome to the Gambling Racket, the sports gambling podcast aimed at giving you the angles and insights to successfully bet on professional tennis. My name is Ben, and here with me today for episode 10 of the podcast are my co-hosts Vic and Chris. Last saw you guys in episode 9 after about the midway point of Indian Wells, both men and women. And so today we're going to cover what we missed out on if you weren't able to catch or if you got rained out, and the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals at ATP and WTA Indian Wells. And then we'll jump into the last hardcore event of the season down in Miami, already with some interesting news, to say the least, but we'll cover that in a little bit. Look, to kick things off, though, we had some upswings and downswings, but a lot more upswings for some of us throughout Indian Wells. So, Vic, I know you're just itching to share some of your results. Let's hear it. How'd you do at Indian Wells?
Yeah, so last episode I told everyone I was down big and how much I fucking sucked. Glad I got that negative energy out on the pod because afterwards I went on a fucking absolute heater, 8 straight wins. Started off with hitting a big Z live line plus 475 when he was down 1 set to Deminor. And then like I said, went on a nice run there. And then my big win for the tournament was Sakri versus Coco Gauff. I hit the Sakri money line plus 240 and also Sakri 2-1 sets exacta plus 625 to finish out the tournament up 16.1 units. So definitely a big swing for me. Honestly, my girl, the Greek goddess, accounts for like 50% of those winnings. So definitely glad I called out that her with the new coach would be something to be on the lookout for. It's almost like I know what I'm fucking talking about or something over here. You know what I mean? Maybe you should
Relax.
tail this motherfucker. Now that I all this shit, I'm gonna do badly. So
where can everyone find your picks?
You can find my picks on Twitter at Pete's Mustache. You can also find the link to my book, Apaches in New York, on sale $4.99. Leave a 5-star review if you're a listener.
Or if you made some money following his picks and you're buying
exactly. Take that money you won, buy some Apaches in New York copies, send them to your friends and family. Perfect stocking stuffer. I know, or Easter bunny, what the Easter basket stuffer, all that shit. It's a good gift. Give it to kids.
Well, relatable stuff, Vic. Very relatable stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I know you're crediting getting all that negative energy out on the podcast, but if you remember, for episode 9, Chris was not with us, so I was the one that had to pick up all that negative fucking energy. I turned a good start to the tournament way the fuck around and just went on an absolute dead dog in the streak, and I really just shit the bed on a lot of these bets at the tail end of the tournament. Fuck, man, I had Sinner money line against Alcaraz. When the betting trends are hitting as hard as Sinner was, you got to ride them till they break, right? Well, I fucking broke him, and Chris was sitting at home in his Snuggie, probably just laughing it up on the couch, not filming episode 9 with us. So not a good end of the tournament for me. Really got to turn it around, hoping to find the same success I found in the early rounds at Indian Wells here in Miami just in a couple days. So, Chris, before we get to some of the results, did you have any success or failure stories you'd like to share from Indian Wells?
My best move was tailing Vic on half of his picks after he went on a heater. That's where I found the most success. So, Vic, I already bought your book. Maybe I'll grab another copy. But thank you for the Greek goddess and all of the blessings that she shared upon us. I lost my whole bankroll on Yannick Sinner, and then I chased the dragon on the live line. I just did not believe in Carlos Alcaraz, but then they had this one shot where they showed Alcaraz's forearms and his veiny, bulging forearms. And then they went over to Yannick and his puny little forearms, and that's when I knew I was cooked. So I did make some of that money back. I did make some of that money back on Carlos in the final. Carlos went down early. Things were looking a little bit bad for him. Hopped on the live line there, made back some of my money. I also hit a parlay, Carlos, and under 21.5 games. I thought I was dead after the 7-6 first set. I was at 13 games after one set, thought I was cooked. And then he smashed him for 6-1. Let's go. So miracles can happen. That little parlay got me back to even for the tournament, and I feel blessed to end there.
Well, that was a weirdly erotic analysis of your betting habits, but I want to remind our audience that at the top of every show, we preach that this is supposed to be angles and insights into successfully betting on tennis, and you should just as one sports gambler to another, please ignore what Chris said about losing his entire bankroll. That is terrible, terrible practice in the world of sports gambling. You should never put your entire bankroll on one play. Please adopt a unit system and yes, bet responsibly. This is for fun, and we make money along the way doing it. So we can win twice, not lose everything all at once. All right. Thank you for that, though, Chris. Yeah, you have a comment?
I should reiterate that I bet all of my profits so far this season on one play. I'm still back to even.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was playing with house money, and I went for gold, and they gave me bronze. Okay.
Okay. So that wasn't your whole bankroll. Thank you. That's kind of a relief, but hopefully a relief to our audience as well. I mean, I'm not going to say good job because it was obviously not a good job, but yes, I'm glad to hear you are not out of house and home because of
believe in Carlos.
Believe in Carlos. Fair enough. Okay, just to recap the end of the tournament, since we talked to you guys last, really nothing too exciting except for Vic's love for Maria Sakkari growing happened. Iga just dominated the whole tournament. It was not even close. If you rode her, even on the game spread, it was easy money. So congratulations to all who just really profited off the women's number one. Good for her. And hopefully we see a little bit more parity throughout the rest of the season with the women. On the men's side, we got some excitement, though. While Taylor Fritz kind of just gave up on his whole game after being up one set, probably the favorite American in the tournament, and lost in the quarterfinals, we had Tommy Paul with an amazing run. Even in the game that he finally lost to Medvedev, what an incredible match that he put on throughout the entire tournament.
It looked like he had him in that second set. I mean, honestly, it looked like he had him, and then he kind of rolled his ankle there at the beginning of the tiebreak, and it kind of fell apart in the third set. But definitely, I was watching that. I'm a big Tommy Paul fan as well. If our hardcore listeners will remember, I predicted he'd be the top-ranked American at the end of the year. So again, not to toot my own fucking horn a little bit, but looking good, pretty good right there. But
silence in the doubters.
Victor the Prophet.
And one thing I'll say too, as you mentioned, Ben, we're coming up on the end of the hardcourt swing. Indian Wells is a much slower court, and Tommy Paul is doing really well in the extended rallies with Medvedev. And if you can look good in an extended rally with Medvedev, you can look good in an extended rally with anybody. So I definitely think he might be somebody to watch out for when we get to the clay court season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's definitely a different style of play, but like you said, the ball slows down a lot on clay. And if Tommy can bring the same type of game plan to the bigger events this season, I think we'll definitely see him walking away with some titles, which will be really exciting for American fans.
Speaking of clay, do you think Rafa makes a comeback?
He has to. I don't think we're going to see him.
He's supposed to be training right now, is what I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, he's training for clay season, right?
Yeah, which we're very close to. I don't think we're going to see him in Monte Carlo. I doubt maybe see him in Madrid, but realistically, I don't think we're going to see him until Roland Garros at the end of May. He probably won't play in Rome because that's the same month, and probably needs to rest his old ass legs for at least 30 days leading into a Grand Slam. But yeah, I mean, I hope we're going to see him again. What a way to go out. No one wants to go out withdrawing before play even starts at Indian Wells, right? It's not a ceremonious exit from the game.
Yeah, the greats deserve better than that. You know, you always hope for the greats to get a good send off. You know.
Yep.
So what do you make of Joker backing out of Miami so early after that?
We'll get there. Well, he's not done. He's not cooked as bad as Nadal is.
I read it was like personal matter, right? Like he's got kids and shit, and he kind of wanted to like take some time off and spend time with his family.
Yeah, nothing about Joker's game signals to me that he's wearing down by any means. I think he's taking time away from the game while retaining his number one spot pretty easily. So he's not worried about losing his ranking. He's not really worried about much these days, except dudes faking him out in the middle of a point, I guess.
Do you think the Alcaraz Sinner match? Did you know that was for number 2 in the world? The winner of that match would get number 2.
Yes.
So do you think Carlos has established himself as the legitimate number 2?
I think it's Carlos and Sinner it's definitely one of them. You know, for me it goes Joker's the GOAT and he's on a level by himself, and then it's Alcaraz and Sinner, you know, and then it's kind of like everybody else after, you know, and then Medvedev is 4th, and then there's kind of like a big drop, and you know, and then the rest of the top 10 is how I look at
and
it.
then you get Big Z, Casper Ruud, Holger Rune. Yeah, but I don't think there's I guess maybe I don't know what you mean by a legitimate number 2. Either one of those guys would be super legit as the official world number 2. They're both incredible players. I think like the biggest takeaway for me was that there were a lot of Alcaraz doubters that like he just was on this hot streak as a young kid, but now that everyone's kind of figured out his game, he was going to fall off. But man, did he look incredible. The drop shot was back against Sinner, against Medvedev. Everything was working for him, just hitting amazing shots, getting to everything. His tenacity is insane. Yeah, so I have no problem comfortably saying that Alcaraz is a deserving number 2 over Jannik Sinner. Sinner's incredible as well, but whoever won that match deserves to be number 2 for sure.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I'm looking at the race to Turin, you know, where they show like how many points everyone has accumulated so far this year. Sinner's, you know, number 1, obviously, because he won the Australian Open. And then it's Medvedev, Alcaraz, Big Z, Demon, Rublev. And then, surprise, Sebastian Baez, 7th, Ben. I guess he picked up all those tournament wins down in the Golden Swing in South America. So yeah, Sebastian Baez, top 8 right now in the world.
Maybe. I'll take credit for absolutely nothing every day. Keep sending it my way. I did nothing but back a guy I knew could win some tennis matches, and here I am. I get the credit for number 7 in the world ATP rankings. Yeah,
boy, right?
Thank you for the praise. He's my boy. Yeah, I mean, if someone's name comes out of your mouth on this podcast, he's automatically that person's boy. So right now I've got Baez, I've got Seyboth Wild, I've got I don't know. I've got Nakashima.
Hey, Seyboth Wild's been playing really well.
Yeah, I agree. Vic's got Dino Prismic. Can't let that name fade.
My boy.
Fade into obscurity. I don't know who Chris has got besides Sinner. Hey, I think he's got Sinner. I think he's got a crush on Sinner, despite his comments on his scrawniness. Yeah.
I'm just really, really hurt over him losing.
Yeah, that's a crush to me.
Oh, Chris,
I'll get back on the floor.
Facundo Diaz Acosta. That was your
Oh yeah, you do love Facundo. That's true. Okay, overall, let's wrap up Indian Wells. Overall, deserving tournament for Alcaraz. Is really exciting to see him back on top. At number 2, at least competing with Sinner, and kind of a lot of concerns about his game, about that rolled ankle from the Golden Swing, out the window, and he's back, he's competing, and it's exciting. But that wraps up the first half of Masters March. Now we get to roll into the Miami Open presented by Itau, ITAU. I don't know how to say that, but it is our second Masters tournament of the month for both the men and women. Fourth of the year, I believe, for the women. The women have been on a really busy streak lately. And the men will be headlined by the number 1 seed and former champion, 2022 champion, Carlos Alcaraz. We will, unfortunately, like either Vic or Chris mentioned, not be seeing Novak Djokovic here. He has withdrawn, most likely due to personal reasons, but that's okay. We will be getting returning champ Daniel Medvedev, who's coming off the final in ATP Indian Wells, and as well as Jannik Sinner, Rublev, 2021 champion Hubert Hurkacz, who has just been on a slide lately, though. But yeah, so ATP Miami is the last hardcourt event of the season. It is one of the largest events on the tour outside of the Grand Slams in terms of attendance. So it's always a fun one for fans to show up. Miami is obviously a place where big events like this get a lot of attention. It is insanely hot down there right now. I mentioned before, we've already got news coming out of the qualifier matches, but with given humidity and temperature, some folks are saying the temperatures are just getting out of hand already. So
Arthur Cajot had to withdraw today in his qualifier match because he fainted from the heat.
Yeah, kind of a scary video to watch. It's all over Twitter right now as we're filming this. Arthur Cajot just collapsed in his match against Mayo, his countryman Mayo, and just kind of laid down. It looked like he was out for a little bit. And Mayo just kind of like wandering around in the background. He's like, oh, he's laying down. Cool. I'm just going to walk off to the side while the trainer runs onto the court, and then the umpire walks over as well. He was taken off the court in a wheelchair. This is something we got to think about, though, boys. The conditions are going to be a factor here, just like the wind and the rain was a factor at Indian Wells. If you're not conditioned for this, then it is going to kill you down there, potentially kill you, but definitely kill your game. So look to the guys with strong trainers, with a history of strong prep, history of winning in more tropical climates. And yeah, so don't want these weak ass Frenchmen laying down on you when you've got a couple $100 on his ass to win, right? We're gonna go through some futures here in a moment, and then some first round matchups. But we do have, I don't know if we want to talk about what we're seeing on the women's side. The women's draw came out a day early. Their qualifiers also started a day early. As of right now, we're looking at these lines. In some sites, they are locked for the women. Vic, if you want to touch on that, you can.
Yeah, so obviously this is a bit of more of a serious subject, but it's on Twitter right now from Belarusian hockey news sites that Sabalenka's boyfriend passed away today in Miami. So I haven't seen anything official on it, but like Ben said, some of the sports books are taking it down. I'm looking at DK right now, and DraftKings still has it up, and they still have the quarter odds up. So, like I said, nothing official, but that would obviously, tennis takes a back seat if that's the case. But that would definitely affect who the favorite series. Sabalenka would be, she's one of the big dogs, and missing her would definitely affect the rest of the field. And I'm looking, and DK actually has the odds for the fourth quarter winner no longer posted. So, yeah, it looks like that news might be legit. So obviously, thoughts and prayers to Sabalenka and her friends and family on that loss.
Yeah, as of right now, still unconfirmed, but it looks like there might be some credibility to the story, just given the reaction we're seeing from the sports books, which is maybe a shitty way to look at that. But hey, that's the world we live in. The Rock broke the news on the killing of Osama bin Laden. So hey, anything can happen this day and age. Everyone's a reporter.
There's a winner special right now on DraftKings.
Yeah,
you can pick the field or Swiatek, Sabalenka in golf. The field is minus 125. Sabalenka probably is not going to go. Golf doesn't really have a legitimate shot. Swiatek versus the field.
Dude, I would take that. I would take the field. What
do you mean golf doesn't have a legitimate shot? Can you fucking expand on that, please?
All right, I take it back. That was a little crass.
She is
Wait,
the
but
fourth.
what?
She's the fourth favorite.
I just don't get why.
Oh man, I can't find it on the app.
Well, that's something to think about if you like those kind of prop bets.
Oh,
What's the
hero
line on
baby.
Iga? Iga versus the field?
Minus
The field
110, baby.
The field
Minus
would be minus
110.
125. He said.
Yeah, but the line for Iga against them was minus 110, he said. That's what I was asking about.
Well, it's
Oh.
Iga, Sabalenka, and golf minus
Oh, that's right.
110.
All three of them minus 110. What's the line for just Iga straight up? I don't have it.
Versus the field, they don't have it.
No, Iga outright winner is plus 160. Why don't you just I would just take that. Golf is plus 800.
I'm just taking the field.
Oh, you want the field, that's right. Well, hey, I guess.
I don't know.
I just don't think there's any value there. It's minus 125 to have your money tied up for 12 days. That's a long ass time. Like if I'm tying up my money that long, I want some juicy odds.
That's true. That's a good
That's true.
point.
Good point, Ben.
Plus,
So-
Iga's probably going to win anyway.
Do you want to go? Do you guys want to run through the men's odds?
Yeah, kick us off, Vic.
It
Yeah,
is an
so-
interesting future though with Sabalenka in question.
Yeah. But for the men, there's no quarter winners up. But Bovada has outright winners posted. So I'll go through a couple of them. Alcaraz is a favorite at plus 160. Then you got Sinner plus 200. Medvedev plus 700. Then a big drop to Big Z at plus 14. Rublev plus 2,000. Demon plus 22. TT Post plus 2,800. Casper Ruud plus 3,300. And Holger Rune plus 3,300. So those are the top 9. What do you think, Ben? Who's your pick to win Miami?
I'm looking at guys that are Miami seasoned already. So guys that played in Delray Beach already are probably a little bit more familiar with the conditions that they can expect to see, which is appealing to me. So I'm not ready to put money on Taylor Fritz just because he's just a head case. But at plus 4,000, I guess it's not horrible. Tommy Paul, though, also plus 4,000. Hey, man, that's a good deal. He played in Delray Beach. He did well in Delray. He made it to the final against Taylor Fritz. Just came up a little short. He's familiar with American hard courts very thoroughly at this point. He's been on his game. Ben Shelton, that being said, is also plus 4,000. So there's a lot of guys sitting at plus 4,000 that are legitimate contenders. I'll probably put half a unit on Tommy Paul. I want to root for him. I think that's good value given the way he's playing. Realistically, I could see Demon at plus 2,200 having a good showing here at Miami, though. Just like conditions aside, experience in Miami this year aside, I like the way Demon's playing. Even though he came up a little short at Indian Wells, I don't think that his play style is suited well to the conditions that he saw there.
Dude, they price those top 3 Americans every tournament they're in together. They price them right around the same for their futures. Like that's the way it was in Delray and Acapulco as well. When they were all 3 of them there, they always start off with the same odds. So very interesting to note. I guess there, Chris, what do you like for Miami?
I think Ben has a fair point. The conditions in Miami are probably going to be brutally hot. Has anybody checked the weather for Miami?
Not the extended forecast.
So.
It's played still to start for 2 days.
Like, it is 9:13 at night and it's 83 degrees. They had a high of 88 today.
What's the wind doing?
Yikes. Very little wind, 12 miles per hour.
That's that's not insignificant, but it is
At
night and it's cooling off. I expect the wind is going to be a little bit higher at the end of the day as things cool off around there. The reason I bring up the wind is because I wanted to gauge Vic's reaction to Alexander Bublik at plus 20,000, who is notoriously affected by the wind in his game. So maybe seeing some less wind, we see a longer, deeper run into the tournament from Bublik this time around, Vic.
So Bublik is set up. Bublik did not get an easy draw. That was the first thing I always look at. I look at
Glad
where's
you
Bublik.
asked.
So he's got to go through. It's Fees versus Arnaldi is the first round winner. Has to play him. So neither of those guys is pushovers. Both of those are young guns. I think Bublik will get through either one of them though. And then he sets up to play Tsitsipas in the third round. Should have no problem with Tsitsipas. And then fourth round he'd have to play Rublev, which is a rematch of that Dubai semifinal where Rublev had the blow up. If he were to make it by Rublev, he'd have to play Sinner in the quarter or in the semis. So definitely, not an easy path. Rublev, Sinner are two tough guys to go through. I'm obviously gonna put a half unit on my fucking boy because that's how I ride to the death with Kazakhstan. But for my realistic bet, I was looking at the field, and the person who I think has the easiest draw through the fourth round is Holger Rune. He's got his section. He's the top dog in his section. So it's set up with him and Big Z is the highest ranked guy that would be in his quarter. He'd have to beat Demon, which that'd be in the fourth round, but I think he's better than Demon. Lehechka in the third round, he's better than Lehechka. And Morosian in the second round or a qualifier. Like that's not a hard draw for Rune. I think the little shorts are going to help him in the hot weather, like you said, Ben. So he's got those tiny shorts, good for circulation, So that's my realistic winner. Holger Rune, 1 unit plus 3,300. But like I said, we ride or we fucking die with Kazakhstan on this podcast. Alexander Bublik plus 20,000. Fucking cheese fries for weeks if he wins.
Plus 20,000.
Plus
Yeah,
20,000 for
20,000.
Bublik. I am having a hard time deciding who was brushed off more casually: Coco Golf by Chris or Tsitsipas by Vic. Yeah,
Fuck
Bublik.
Tsitsipas.
Then he plays
Origami is
Tsitsipas, no
beautiful.
problem with Tsitsipas. Then he moves on. He doesn't play Rublev. But what? What are we talking about?
Dude, Tsitsipas is not an elite player. Tsitsipas, I view Tsitsipas the same way I view FAA. He's that tier below, right? He's that fucking step below.
Why is Bublik a tier above him?
You look at the race to turn right now. Bublik is fucking 12th for a number of points acquired this year. Tsitsipas has had an awful year. He's 23rd. Like Bublik has had a much better year than Tsitsipas. Bublik
has a title.
What's that?
Bublik has a title and another finals appearance in Dubai.
Yeah, Bublik has had a great year. He's got a much better serve. He hits with way more power. And the man's a fucking entertainer, man. Like he's down in Miami in front of those crowds. He's going to feed off that energy.
We talked about this last time in episode 9. That he didn't fucking smash his racket. So then he just started doing the underhand serve and just laughing about it until he was out of there.
Yeah, but there's nobody at Indian Wells. It's fucking middle of the desert. He's like, this is not for me. I need the crowd, I need to hear the roar of the crowd. Tsitsipas man in the ring, or Bublik man in the arena. Tsitsipas is origami soft.
It is not the critic that counts.
That's right.
I absolutely disagree with your assessment of Rune's path. I don't think Marjan's a pushover. And I definitely don't think the way that Jiří Lehečka is playing that he's a pushover either. He looked really good at Indian Wells.
Jiří's playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Man, and then he's got to go through Demon. And ultimately you say, oh, not Rublev, but Big Z.
I think he's better than Big Z. Rune is better than Big Z.
Wow. That's a lot, man. This is a sneaky tough quarter. We've also got Eubanks in here who can always play upset. I don't think Sonego is looking that bad either, although he is going up against the bad boy of Britain, Daniel Evans, in the first round. Let's go. Who we putting our money on there, boys? We'll talk about that in a second.
Daniel Evans is going to find some good coke in Miami. He's going to be ready to fucking play.
Yes, sir. He's going to give half of it to Jack Draper, and Draper's going to pass out the morning he's supposed to play and just not show up.
Oh my God. This is all alleged.
Yeah. Come on.
Daniel Evans did fail a drug test.
It's the most likely storyline. Oh, man. Chris, did you have a chance to look at the draw? Or do we want to... Wait, did you pick a future winner yet?
I did not pick a future winner. Honestly, I'm gonna put a half unit on Bublik at plus 20,000. Way too good of odds for him.
Ride with Kazakhstan, baby.
Okay. Hey, maybe I'll join you guys just for fun. I don't know if I'll make that an official play, but if I'm looking a little bit closer at this draw, I know I already have my picks, but just like bracket analysis wise, it's hard to say that until getting to the quarterfinals that Casper Ruud doesn't have a pretty easy road. Him and Medi should be able to slide to the quarters to face each other, and that would be a fun little quarterfinal matchup there. I'm interested to see. We'll probably have to update via Twitter if the quarters odds come out, if we're going to make any of those picks. But I think this is kind of a weaker bracket here. I know we've got Taylor Fritz, we've got Baez, and we've got Cam Norrie. But really, at the end of the day, those are the only guys I'm worried about here, and they're not even big concerns for me on the hard court. Fritz, if he can get his head in order, but man, how do you have match point in the second set and you go on to lose in 3? That's brutal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like FAA, bro. He's a one-trick pony. You know, he's the big serve and the forehand. You know.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you on that.
You just said one trick pony and then listed 2 things, just so you know.
The trick is the game. My game is serve. It's one game. Serve, forehand. That's it. One trick. Chris, that's it for you. Just the half unit on Bublik to win it all at plus 20,000.
Ride till I die. Also, we're not betting on any French players ever again.
Did you have someone specific in mind?
We just don't bet on the French. So whoever plays Manarino in the second round, we're just gonna take the opposite way.
What about Ugo? I thought you liked Ugo.
And then he failed me. We're off the French.
Wow. That's true. I had Ugo. I had Tommy Paul against Chris, and he had Ugo in a little head-to-head matchup. And I'm glad I stuck with the American. Always back Americans.
And Chris immediately dumps him. Hell hath no fury, huh, Vic?
That's right.
Jeez. Okay, well, let's look through. I know. Let's see if we even got him actually live. I got to go back to game lines. So I know we have women's first round lines out for the 20th.
Do you guys want to do a women's winner?
Oh yeah, we didn't do a women's future. Yeah, let's do that. Good call. There's no men's first round lines out anyways yet, so they still got a couple qualifiers to play tomorrow, and then everything kicks off on Wednesday. So yeah, let's talk through the WTA draw.
Yeah, so like we said, it looks like Sabalenka is gonna end up withdrawing. So that really affects the fourth quarter, which they had the lines taken down for. The other big dog in the fourth quarter is Zhang Qinwen. I don't know how to say that, bro. Your girl, Katie Bolter.
Yeah, finalist at Australian Open.
Okay, Katie Bolter's in that quarter as well, Ben. Ludmila Samsonova.
Mm-hmm.
And Kalina Nina. So those are the people. Those are the girls most likely to benefit from Sabalenka having to withdraw. For me, if I have to look at women's, let me read the odds before I just get into it. So Iga is a prohibitive favorite, obviously, because she's all dog, number 1 in the world. She's plus 160. Sabalenka is still listed at plus 450. Rybakina is plus 550. Coco Gauff is plus 800. And then you have a giant drop off to Pegula plus 3,500. Zhang plus 3,500. Maria Sakkari plus 3,500. And then that bitch Jelena Ostapenko plus 4,000. So
why did he say that?
Because she's the one that doesn't shake hands at the net sometimes.
Oh.
For my woman's future, I mean, bro, I get burned on this girl every time. I just can't stop betting her. And she's Kazakhstani, yes, but she's also like one of the best women's tennis players out there. Huge serve, super tall, not gonna have trouble getting around the court in
Huge.
the heat. Elena Rybakina, plus 550 for me. I mean, with if Sabalenka's gone and Rybakina, you can still get Rybakina plus 550. To that's a lock, like 100%. I might put 2 units on that, she would end up she has a relatively easy path through the first 4 rounds. And then the hardest game she might have is our girl, the Greek goddess Maria Sakkari in the quarters. But other than that, I mean, like, yeah, I think she should be fine as long as she's got her IBS under control, which, fingers crossed the diarrhea is gone,
Someone get that girl some Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, I
How's your
agree. Actually,
heartburn
I think
and
this is the
indigestion,
weakest. I think
upset
this is the
stomach,
weakest quarter of the
diarrhea?
bracket.
What'd you say, Chris?
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
He's doing an
Hey,
ad, an unpaid ad.
Rybakina.
Get the fuck
Hey,
out of here.
Rybakina.
Um,
The Greek goddess is plus 3,500.
I know. I want to sprinkle something on her as well. It's just, the draw for me being in the same quarter as Rybakina is tough. But I definitely think that she's going to make it through to the fourth round. I just she's in great form right now. Like I said, new coach with an elite coach with an elite talent, man. Like she's going to be in the top 5 before this year, before we get to Roland Garros. Like she is an elite player. Like I expect a lot of deep runs from her moving forward.
okay. I agree with you. This is what I was saying while Chris was doing his ad, that the Sakkari and Rybakina quarter, I think, is the weakest quarter of the draw. I'd be, man, I would be more afraid of this bottom quarter if Sabalenka was definitely playing, but yeah, it seems like it's kind of wide open if she's not. We'll get a lucky loser in there if she does withdraw, and then we're looking at like you said, Qin Wenjiang, Katie Bolter, Hadaj Maya, maybe Samsonova, Krejcikova. Yeah, so there's some good competition in there, but it's pretty wide open. I think Coco Gauff's quarter is a little bit more competitive, even though Ons Jabeur is the second highest seed there. I actually like Marta Kostyuk to make a little bit of a run here. I'm gonna look at her odds once they open back up. They closed and she was at plus 5,000, so I kind of like that. The Ukrainian's been playing with some fire lately. She made a pretty deep run at Indian Wells. We'll see if she can keep that kind of competitiveness up. And then, man, how do you not feel bad for Linda Noskova? Every major tournament, it feels like she goes up against Iga. She's in Iga's quarter. And sometimes she takes her down, like in the Australian Open, and every other time she gets worked. Actually, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure she
that's
got worked by her both other times they played, but can't avoid her.
that's a tough draw. I also think that it seems like Naomi Osaka is always in Coco's quarter as well, uh, because Naomi Osaka is in the same section as Coco, so that might be one that could give her a little bit of trouble if Osaka's playing well. One person we didn't touch on is the girl who beat Sabalenka in Indian Wells, Emma Navarro. So she is in section 2. What are her odds? I'm gonna take a
Plus
fucking peek.
5,000.
Wow, nice. That's fast. That's correct too. She is also plus 5,000. Here was my strategy that had me gave me a profitable first half of Indian Wells was American women as underdogs. They were just money makers, money printers, I should say. Um, bet like Dola Hyde, Katie Volinets, who else did we have? Danielle Collins, all as underdogs, and they were all just winning and winning and winning. So these American hardcourt tournaments in with American players, I think, is a winning strategy in the earlier rounds until they come up against like actual competition. So I'm going to be looking to do that again. It will not be without a little bit more research, but expect that to kind of drive my bankroll through the end of the tournament again.
All right, I'll ride with you on that. It worked last time, so.
Chris, what are you liking here? I don't think I made a futures pick yet, but go ahead. What are you liking for the women? I know you're not big into the WTA, but
I'm gonna pass on the women.
wow, coward. Okay, no worries. I'm sticking with my one and only future, which is half a unit. It'll be on Marta Kostyuk to win outright. If the quarters unlock on if the quarters are up, actually, just we're missing one of them. So I'll wait to make a quarters picks until we see what the whole field is going to look like. If this news does pan out or turn out to be true, rather. So I'll stick with that one future for WTA for now.
Yeah, and round one for both men's and women's will start on Wednesday, right? Is that right? So
Yeah,
tomorrow we're
that's
wrapping up the qualifiers, and then Wednesday is round one. Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct. Yeah, we do have first round matchups already out for the women. They are not yet out for the men. Well, I don't know. We can go through them if you want. Otherwise, we can just make all of our picks on the social medias.
I think I saw a couple of games that I thought were gonna be fun to watch. Oh, your boy Chris, your season-long bet, Berrettini, he's back. Berrettini is gonna play Andy Murray in the first round, so that should be a good one.
Let's go, Berrettini.
Berrettini's back.
He just lost to Nuno Borges in a Challenger 175 tourney. But I mean, hey, he made the final, so he's working his way back from that ankle injury. And then, like I said, Fees and Arnaldi, that'll be another fun one in the round one. And those are the only round one games I saw that I was like, oh man, I'm gonna want to watch those.
I like Popyrin and Diaz Acosta.
I like betting on Popperin. I like betting on. I've never bet on Diaz Acosta. I know he's your boy. You talk him up, so that might be a fun one. Yeah.
That's maybe you guys go head to head on that one because I'm pretty sure. Don't you hate Popyrin, Chris?
No, I love Alexei.
Really? I feel like you're very wishy-washy on that. Then
he is very big backhand.
You're gonna take him over your boy Facundo.
I never said that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to set you up to take Vic on here. Come on,
Vic. I'll take you.
Take the bait.
All right, fuck it. I'll take Popperin. I'll take Popperin on the hard court. Your boy might be better on clay, but we're in America. And like I said, he's got an Australian flag that's practically American. They're basically a colony,
Well, he has no response.
I don't know world history enough to know what you're talking about.
Do you know where Australia is on a map?
I do. It's right over there by, south of Thailand,
That's a good reference point.
It's right next to New Zealand.
How far away from Thailand is it? That's the way I judge everything.
Vic, I know you brought him up. You brought him up before. Manarino is going to face the winner of Rusevori and Hanfman in the second round. I don't like any of those guys. I think what a crappy little run that's going to be. But are you going to take Rusevori or Hanfman no matter who wins if they're playing Manarino?
No, I just won't bet on it.
I like Rusevori. I like Rusevori a lot. I think Rusevori is good. He had a good end of last year, and I mean this season hasn't been going great for him. But if Rusevori makes it past Hanfman, which I'm going to bet on him to do, I expect him to have a good game against Manarino and beat him. I don't think he's going to beat Dimitrov.
Every time we've believed in Rusevori together, he's lost. So I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah, you stay away. You don't do good with the Finns. The Finnish folk don't mix with you for whatever reason,
Yeah, Chris, mind your business when it comes to Finland.
And those damn French Canadians.
Where is FAA? Is he even in this fucking tournament?
Yeah.
Who?
Felix, your boy Felix.
Yeah. What? Wait, my boy?
I feel like you bet on him a good amount.
I don't know. I don't feel that way, but
oh, he's not in it. He must have.
I saw him.
He must have withdrawn or something.
Really? I thought I saw him on the draw. That's weird. That's odd. This is a tournament that he should be playing. Yeah, he is. He's number 35.
He's against the qualifier.
He's playing the legend qualifier himself. who is playing multiple times in the first round. Again, this is wild how they do this tournament after tournament. Same guy, multiple first round matchups.
Just a beast. Just a beast.
Some lower profile first round matchups that I want to watch. I already mentioned one was Sonego and Daniel Evans. We'll see how fueled up Daniel can get on the Miami Gold. Let's see. I'm interested.
Been playing doubles with Sinner though.
Who has Sonego?
Yeah,
the Italians. That doesn't mean shit to me. I'm not a doubles fan in the first place, but it doesn't seem the success there doesn't seem to translate well over to singles in most cases. Except if you get a guy like Max Purcell, maybe.
He's rubbing elbows with a top 3 player though.
Is that what you think is the key to success?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for bringing it up at least.
I do like Jiri to beat the winner of Popyrin and Diaz Acosta though.
Okay.
He looked good. He looked good in Indian Wells. You know, he
looked
was
great.
definitely on his game.
Dude's been working out. He's got one of his countrymen in his corner as his coach. I agree. Like he looks good. I'm looking at Chris's boy here. Let's go. Botic van der Zandschulp is playing Rinky Hijikata. I think that could be a good matchup, a fun matchup that maybe you can find some value on the spread there.
We need these lines.
Yeah, well, we got to figure out who these qualifiers are all going to be. And the last, let's see, I saw one more on here that I wanted to mention that I thought was going to be a fun one. I do like Feast and Arnaldi, Vic. I agree with you on that one. That should be cool to watch. Oh, yeah, Max Purcell and Martin Fuskovics. I think that could be a good matchup as well, the Hungarian and the Australian. I'm a Max Purcell early round guy. He's I just mentioned he's a doubles player, but he's like one of the few cases where he's been able to translate it over to singles success, at least competitiveness as well. So usually we get some good value on Purcell, at least to keep things close. So that's one I'm keeping my eye on. I'm also going to keep my eye on Jerome. I know he had a really strong Dallas. He had a really strong Delray Beach. He kind of fell off when they went down south of the border and into Indian Wells. But who knows? Maybe getting back to Miami, maybe he'll get back in those sweaty ass shorts of his, and we can. I
like a run here to beat Kepfer and then to beat Baez.
And then to beat Baez. I don't hate that.
Baez is great on clay, but
yeah, I don't hate that at all. There could be some good value there. I agree. So I'm just saying, someone to keep an eye on.
Garon had a great little run in Dallas.
Yeah. How do you feel about Jack Draper and Taro Daniel?
Well,
I know you're a fan of Draper's social media, right?
How much is Draper going to drink the night before is the real question. If I knew the answer to that, I would immediately bet on it.
You mean how much is Andy Murray going to cyberbully him the night before?
Under 12 drinks, I'm taking Draper. Over 12, I'm taking the other way.
Wow. Okay, that's a system that you should start building up. Start collecting data points on.
It is Taro Daniel. I haven't seen too much of him. He's always getting out in the first couple rounds. I feel like I haven't seen too much of Taro this year.
Let's see. Some young American wild cards in this tournament that could be, I don't know. Let's check out the lines, but I feel like a weird wild card always has some kind of success. So this year we're getting Darwin Blanche is going to be playing Tomas Mahach, which that's going to be a real tough matchup for Darwin.
Mahach is a beast.
Yeah, he is. We're also getting Martin Dam, Damm. He will be playing Triple Z, Jizhen Zhang. So that'll be a fun one. Other wild cards are Kei Nishikori from Japan, Martin Landaluce. That's probably not how you say that, considering he's from Spain. He'll be playing Munar, fellow Spaniard. And the young gun from China, also got a wild card bid here. What's his name? Zhang. Junchen Zhang.
Speaking of young guns, Darwin Blanche, I was like, that name sounds familiar. He's 16. He's 16, 6'3", and I saw a photo of him on Twitter. He looks like a young Ben Shelton. Like seriously, looks like a young Ben Shelton. He
In a
is,
good way?
yeah, in a good way. And then his Grand Slam singles results for the French Junior Open, he had the semifinal, Wimbledon Junior semifinal, US Open third round. So I mean, definitely has had some good fucking tournaments. I mean, these are junior tournaments, but the kid can play apparently. He's hitting partners with somebody who's really good. I forgot who it was, but he's hitting partners with he was hitting with Holger Rune today.
Oh, cool.
That's why I saw it. So
That's
the
fun.
kid can
Good for him.
but
Yeah, there'll be some fun
Mahal-
first round matchups. Sorry, I think there was some lag there. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, you got it.
We'll keep an eye out once these lines come out. Keep an eye on our socials to see what kind of picks we come up with. We'll also tweet back out the futures picks that we've made so far on this episode. But anything else, guys? I know that kind of covers what we've got available to us right now for ATP Miami. Again, the last hardcore tournament of the year. Got to end on a good note. But anything else you want to address before we kind of wrap it up and sign off?
One thing I'm looking at it, the women's starts tomorrow. Women's round 1 is tomorrow, and men's last qualifying is tomorrow. So they have it staggered. So the women's round 1 is Tuesday, starting 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, and then the men's is Wednesday. So yeah, they have it staggered, I guess.
Yeah, my apologies. I was looking at it and they all said 3:20 for the date, but I just refreshed and they always do this until they have the time set in stone. They just put it all at the same date and time.
Yeah.
But yeah, my bad. So you're right. They do start tomorrow. Men don't start till Wednesday. Awesome. Chris, any advice on choosing the dark side over the force?
Well, hopefully the Sith Lord has a great run in Miami.
Who is
By
that?
the way, Jack Draper has had 2 pretty good runs on hardcourt already this year. At Adelaide, he beat Baez, Kekmanovic, Tommy Paul, and Alexander Bublik before finally losing to Jiri. And then he had another good run at Acapulco, beat Tommy Paul, Kekmanovic, and then ultimately lost to the Demon, who's also been playing very well. I like Draper here. I like Draper a lot.
Who's the Sith Lord?
Me.
You're playing. Are you one of these qualifiers, guys?
I'm betting on the players, and I hope that it goes well.
Oh, you're saying you hope the Sith Lord does well. I got you. Okay. You talk about
Yeah.
yourself
I
in
really
third
like your
person
beard,
also.
dog. What kind of product you put in that thing? Tell us about your beard product. Let's sign off with your beard product. Give us let's get a sponsor.
I would have to look there. Put me on the spot.
What color is the bottle?
Actually,
is it soap?
I'm getting it shaved. I'm getting it shaved off tomorrow. I will be clean shaven.
Really? Why?
I'll have probably about your length, Ben. I'm just honestly I'm going to the daddy-daughter dance on Saturday. So I gotta look crisp and proper.
Wow. How inspirational. Yeah. A Sith Lord at a daddy-daughter dance.
We'd be there and we'd be checking our tennis bets.
That's right. That's right. Priorities. Teach them young, folks. Teach them young. Build up their bankrolls early so they have spending money. All right. That should do it for us, though, here at the Gambling Racket. Thank you for joining us for episode 10. Likely we'll check in next weekend in the middle of ATP Miami and WTA Miami just to give an update on how things are going. It's also just a good time to get an episode in. So check us out. Chris, I don't know if you'll be there or not, considering you have dark side things to be doing, including a father-daughter dance. So good on you for that. But expect an episode then. Until then, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Gamble responsibly. Don't spend your whole bankrolls in the meantime. And as we flip pigeons, we will catch you all next time.
These are dubs.
Oh, Vic called them pigeons last time, so we
got.
We're
flipping pigeons. We're flipping pigeons.
Pigeons are flying rats. You're disgusting.
All right.